All right, welcome to the Stop Money Anxiety Now live podcast, episode number 8. Making more money doesn't solve your problems. Or, wait, money doesn't solve all your problems? All right. Welcome back to another live broadcast. Yes, it's live. So, welcome to another live broadcast of the Stop Money Anxiety Now podcast. I'm your host, Houng, from the Six Figure Academy.
And I'm Jessica. I'm also from the Six Figure Academy.
And this is the podcast where we give you real-world tips. Real-world tips, strategies, and interviews with some of the most amazing entrepreneurs on the planet on how to eliminate the destructive money habits and anxiety that you have so you can create a prosperous and abundant lifestyle, get unstuck in your business, and free of financial stress and worry. So, how are you, Jessica? Well, obviously it's live because we're laughing because we had actually changed the title of today's episode to "Wait, Money Doesn't Solve All Your Problems" from what I initially had said, and so that's why I was like, oh wait. That's not our title. So for those of you who are just joining us, if you're on Spreaker.com, welcome. Feel free to chat with us anytime during the show on the chat screen. If you are listening to us post live on iTunes or on our website at thesixfigureacademy.com/radio, welcome. Feel free to make comments as well, as we will get notified to make sure that we respond back to you. But this is a live broadcast, so if you have any questions at all anytime during today's show, make sure you punch in the question and we'll be more than happy to interact with you. Cool. So how was your week?
Man, yeah.
You've had an exciting week, actually.
Super, yeah. A lot of things have been happening. A lot of really great things. You picked up a few clients, been making a lot of headway, just preparing for all my sessions and, just going to a lot of networking events. And
good.
Yeah, it's always surprising to me. I know I just started going to networking events this year, and it's always surprising to me how open and friendly people are at the events. And I know it's like it's supposed to be, everyone's like networking, obviously, so everyone wants to have their best foot forward, but just every time.
Have you ever been to a networking event where people weren't open and friendly?
No,
So how did you know to even think that was a possibility?
This is very true. I guess I'm just comparing it with, I don't know, like nightlife in Los Angeles.
Nightlife?
Yeah, it's just, when you go out to socialize, LA can be kind of more on the cliquey side as compared to other cities. And so just the openness isn't as there. But and not only just openness, but I feel like people in the networking communities or just in the professions generally are just so much more
professional,
but like friendly. Like they're willing to help you because they know that, if they're going to help you, then you're going to help them. It's just kind of this really nice synergistic relationship that goes on.
When people go out to party and go to clubs and stuff like that, are they there looking to help people, or are they looking to help themselves?
That's a good question.
Right?
I should ask them that.
I know. Are you out here to help yourself tonight? Why are you out tonight in this club? Are you here to help yourself, or are you gonna help yourself with that drink right now? Are you gonna help yourself with that shot? Oh, there you go. Yeah, you are helping yourself.
This is very true. But I do have some friends who do use nightlife to network. I know some friends who go out and with the intention of wanting to meet.
Sure. There's definitely a way to do that. I think for people who are social butterflies and they figured out a sequence on how to leverage their business through socialization.
Yep.
And so there's definitely different types of networking personalities. There are people who socially just don't go out and they really appreciate real business, straight to the point type of networking events. And then there are people who are like absolute social butterflies. I know a few. And, if they just basically interweave very powerful networking techniques, they can network anywhere.
Networking techniques?
Networking techniques.
Wait, is that a thing?
Oh, yeah. You didn't know? We have a power networking program.
Really?
You didn't know that?
Oh, I saw a module, but I don't think I completed that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that raises
Now,
your
see,
game.
now you guys, this is not an intentional plug. She really has no idea what I'm talking about.
I know. Wait, could you share
If you could-
like one major key point that, out of all the points that you'd have to share, like what is the main thing that you would say for is a key power networking?
Okay,
skill?
so the big thing about networking is I think it's a very important attribute or an important strategy in almost any business.
Yes.
It does a variety of different things. You know, networking allows you to learn how to talk about your business, because a lot of people, they think they know, but they really don't, and they show up and people have no idea what they're talking about when they're talking about their business. Networking is also a great way for you to test new pitches, new sales openers, new ideas for your business. And of course, networking is a great way to get leads. And so one of the things that just kind of like what turns you off about, the clubbing scene is that a lot of people, unfortunately, go out to networking serving one thing only, so one person only. They're going out to serve themselves. Networking, true networking, okay, is to serve on the highest level. I actually just talked to a buddy of mine yesterday, and he was talking about his friend who was on some pickup show on VH1 and stuff like that. But he's like the, kind of like the go-to guy in Vegas and stuff like that. And
in Vegas, like Las Vegas, to pick up women?
Yeah.
Wow.
But then what he does, I mean, he's good at it, and the challenge, well, I mean, it's a whole different challenge. We're talking about money, but we don't have to talk about money. We're talking about how this guy shows up and how he actually is able to have so many connections. I mean, when he's actually, really good friends with Aoki, the
Steve Aoki.
Steve Aoki, and always sits behind him in the booth and everything, apparently, when he goes to these events and stuff like that. And it's because he's always serving. He shows up has a big heart and wants to serve people.
Wait, so how is he serving?
If they need anything, or if he hears that they have a challenge, he bends over backwards to help them out.
Huh.
So if you are going out networking, you want to get the best results. Part of the power networking, it's extremely Jedi to do it this way, is to always show up from a place of service, always be curious, and then if you can get yourself out of your own way and tap into the individual's WIFM network. Okay, I learned that from my buddy. Oh God, what's his name? Oh my God, because this is live, I have to look it up now. What is his name?
Steve, Pat, Scott.
No, basically, he's the CEO for Website in 5 days.
5 days.
Yeah, Website in 5 days.
A website in 5 days.
Yeah, website in 5 days. Chris Martinez. Yeah, my buddy Chris Martinez. He's the one that taught me this one. He goes, everybody's always kind of tapped into the WIFM network. Okay, what's in it for me? So when people go out networking, if you are tuned into that full blast in your head, you're not going to see anybody else. You're not going to serve anybody else.
Yeah.
And you don't get the results that you're looking for. But if you show up in networking, always think about how you can help that person in front of you or the people in that room, whether through referring somebody else or through your own services or product, then without being attached to whether or not they buy your product or service.
Yeah, so it's not having that air of like salesy, pushy. It's more because I'm imagining if someone came up to me, saying like, "Oh, hey, like how can I help you?"
Yeah,
I would automatically want to be like, "Well, how can I help you?"
Yeah,
like,
you tap into the law of reciprocity.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's some interesting things, and you got some interesting things going in your life as well now. But let's get to the topic at hand, because we're already like 10 minutes in. We haven't even talked about the topic. So the topic this week is really cool. It's again, the title of the show today is "Wait, Money Doesn't Solve All Your Problems."
Oh no!
I know. And then here we are, and it's kind of ironic because people are going to hear this and go, "Wait a minute, wait." At the Six Figure Academy, isn't that what you guys talk about all the time? How do you solve your problem? Yeah, just make more money. Yeah, just make more money. True. And we're going to talk about how to do that in the best way possible, because you and I were having a conversation before this as we were talking about the show, and so we'll get into that. But basically, today's show is based on this clinical study that recently came back from Case Western Reserve University, and this was my marketing guy Chris sent me an article that referenced this clinical study that was done last year, June 2016. Just because it was done last year didn't mean it was started last year. Apparently, the studies was extracting data from as far back as 1968. So
Whoa.
it's a really thorough study. It's got everything. But I'm just going to read the abstract here for those of you who know what, abstract is basically the summary of our findings, basically. Using different variables to estimate the causal effect of family income on the frequency in which individuals experience negative emotions. Now, before I go into this, we talk about negative emotions and what does that have to do with the problems in our life. I tell people all the time, problems don't exist logically. Problems exist because they're 99% of the time swathed with negative emotions. Negative emotions, the existence of negative emotions, let's not even call it negative because negative gets a bad rap for that because positive, negative. Bad emotions, disempowering emotions, emotions that don't serve you, okay? Inappropriate emotions that get in the way or derail you. Those types of emotions are what keep problems around and alive. And if they weren't swathed with those emotions, the problems can be solved like that. Right? So basically, that's how this is why this is such a cool study. So,
do you think that's why it's a little question here? But do you think that's why meditation, it's kind of detaching yourself from your emotions and getting to the truth of things, and that helps facilitate clarity?
Yeah, and I mean, it gets you intimate with the emotions, because a lot of times when people get negative emotions, all they're wanting to do is the fight or flight mode. They want to get away from the emotions. They want to squash the emotions. They don't actually want to face the emotions. There was a separate study on the same day that I found this one. There's a separate study that one of the first of probably going to be a series of studies that found out that women actually respond better to mindfulness in terms of facing the problems than men. They've done that study also revealed that men actually get worse when they're doing mindfulness. So that's why whenever I talk about mindfulness within the six-figure counting with women and with men, it's different. It's a different type of conversation.
Oh my gosh.
Mindfulness for women is different than mindfulness for men, because men traditionally have been almost genetically implanted to distract themselves so that it's a survival thing. So if you're out there and you're caught up in negative emotions and you're in the middle of a battle and you're fighting, facing those negative emotions right there and then is not going to keep you alive. So what do? You distract and you take it out on the enemy that's in front of you. Okay?
Whoa.
That's why a lot of men like the man caves, like to play video games, like to go work out, as a way to... And it's not an unhealthy methodology. However, why is it that when they try to do that for women, it doesn't work as well? Because women want to talk about it. Because they're used to confronting their emotions on a daily basis.
Oh, yes, with multiple women.
Right? So,
Wow, I didn't know that there was a study on that. That's really fascinating.
Yeah, it's the first study just came out, and I have the link somewhere. But, if anybody who wants that after hearing this, just post a request on the chat, and then we'll be more than happy to share that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so back to this abstract here. Basically, it says doubling income reduces the experience of negative emotions by 0.26 SD on average. I think that's their metric on measuring negative emotions. So percentage changes in income have a constant effect on negative emotion for family incomes below $80,000. So that basically says that if you're making less than $80,000 household, or just a year, the more money you make, the more positive impact it has on negative emotions in your life. Okay. Now it says here above 80,000, the effect of percentage starts to decline. So once you get past 80,000 a year, the more money you make, the less impact it has on your negative emotions or in your problems in your life. And then based on this study, it reaches a metric of zero impact at $200,000. So they say a dollar change in family income has an 8 times larger effect at the 20th percentile of income than the 80th percentile, meaning that it has a much larger impact when you're making less money. Effects of income are similar on the high levels of negative emotion characterized as mental illness, except there's no satiation. So, so what happens is that basically on that statement, it says that no amount of money will satiate or resolve the issues. So if you go deeper into the study, okay, you could flip it and also take a look and say, well, that means also that the negative emotions, okay, and based on what we've experienced here at the Six Figure Academy, is that the more negative emotions you have, the more impact it'll actually have on your income as well. And we've seen this. So when you hit to 200,000, you start going beyond. If you don't resolve that negative emotions, you will hit a block because making money no longer resolves that negative emotion. So basically, the motivation for making more money wanes and drops if you are using money to resolve your problems only.
That's quite the cycle that none of us want to be in, but I feel like a lot of us.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to you earlier. I was like, oh, I've experienced this firsthand. When I first hit 200,000, I was like, great. I was making money solving, I thought, this solves all my problems. Okay. And then from 200,000 to 210, I was like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I need to make more money. Got to 250,000. I was like, this is still not doing it. And it was like the biggest struggle getting to 300,000 for the first time in my life. When you get to 300,000, then it's like, you have to resolve something.
So how did you what was the moment that you hit 300,000 and you?
It was actually the first time that happened. It was actually by accident because I ended up having to resolve some negative emotion in my life, some problem that had nothing to do with money.
By accident?
Yeah, because it was just so in my face. I thought it was just a life thing. I have to take care of this, but I didn't make the correlation until later in life that because I resolved that issue, that's what took me to the next level. I thought everything was by chance, and it's not by chance. So this is why, the sequence of why we do what we do here, what we do, and how we do it is based a lot on not just my journey, but just kind of doing case studies of other people as well and seeing the similarities, seeing the thread. And now this case study comes out, which further supports that. It's like, oh, that's why.
Wow, so it is like really breaking through. Because because some people, it would just be like, oh, well, it's just a rising number, like what's the big deal, just make more money. But it's just that difference of, I wouldn't even think... Yeah, it's like, you just make more money. Yeah,
it's just like a bad association. Once again, we just shared this abstract here, so I'm pretty sure if you're hearing this and you're here live with us on Spreaker.com, or even if you're listening later, go into the comment section. It's chat. While it's live, we will actually see it. It'll pop up on our screens, and we'll help. We can have a little conversation virtually, I guess, in terms of asking questions. So if you have any questions about this abstract, any questions about this study, or any questions about why money doesn't solve all your problems, right? So now the question then arises is, why is it that we then say here at the Six Figure Academy, it's like, oh, you got something, you have a problem you need to solve, just make more money. One of the fastest way to solve the problems in your life is to make more money. Doesn't that sound like we just contradicted what we've just been talking about?
Hence the title.
Hence the title. Mark. Wait, what? We were talking about the title, and I thought, oh God, I was getting to a point where I was like, I can't talk about this anymore. It's just way too much stuff going on in my head. What if we just make the title wait ... what ? And that's it. The name of the show today is Wait, What?
I think I'd click on that and just be like, wait, what?
Wait, what? Click. People click on the funniest things, and a lot of it, that's why there's the term called clickbait, right? That would have been a total clickbait title, totally. Because people are, wait, what? Click. Wait, what? Click. Wait, what? And how many wait, what is going people's head as they're reading it? Wait, what? And if you cup a picture in there, they're looking at it, wait, what?
Oh my goodness. That's gonna be like a meta, wait, what?
Wait, what?
Anyways, so I'm just thinking, if you're stuck in this cycle, then, do you have an idea of how you identify being in this circle? Is it just, feeling like you're in a rut, feeling like you're stuck, feeling like you're just putting in so much more energy, but you're not quite receiving the same returns back? Like, what? Yeah.
I think the biggest problem is that we as a society, because of the world, because we live in a capitalistic world, we're born into this world that we live in now. So we kind of have to play the game if we want to be successful in this world. And the challenge is learning to dissociate money with our problems. Because quite frankly, any problem that we have, even if you call it money problems in our life, actually have nothing to do with money. money is like one of the easiest scapegoat. Money is a scapegoat, easy scapegoat because everybody can easily agree with you. You know, think about it. When was the last time you had a conversation and you were trying to blame something and someone disagreed with you blaming that something?
Maybe the other day.
Right.
Yeah.
So what happened? What were you talking about?
Well, it was just someone, in my opinion, I don't know if this is even going to relate to money, but in my opinion, someone was doing something silly and I kind of got irritated with it. And then my friend kind of disagreed with me being irritated and just said, well, maybe this or maybe that. And I just said, like, no, like, well, from my perspective, I was like, no, like,
that's
I'm
not
irritated.
Right. I'm irritated and it's its fault, right?
Yep.
And it says, no, it's not. It's something else, right? So there's open discussion as to what's wrong. And it becomes this, and then it creates another set of discussion or another debate or another argument elsewhere.
Yep.
The reason why money is so easy to blame because most people will not say, yeah, no, it's not money. It's like, oh my God, I can't pay my bills. I got to make more money. I totally agree. Just make more money. Yeah, just make more money. Right?
Nope. Never heard that conversation in my life.
Right? So money is an easy scapegoat because everybody can easily agree to use it as a scapegoat.
This is true. Oh, so for example, this morning I just found out there's this festival in Thailand and, these tickets just came out on early bird specials and I told my friend because he said that he'd been wanting to go, and I said, "Hey, it's this price right now, $120, which is unheard of for this festival this early, anyways." And he goes, he's like, "Yeah, I just need to, I need to make some more money before I can go out there and da, 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 da." And I just said, "Okay, sure." Like, I understand. Yeah. But otherwise, if I feel like if money was taken out of it, I would
it'd be a totally different
concept. Yeah, I'd be like, no, this is an amazing experience.
Because what if he says, no, I don't know if I'm feeling it. I don't think it's for me.
Exactly.
Then you say, what do you mean it's not for you? How can it not? And you'd be launching into a conversation, right? So think about this. I mean, this could be a huge, huge possibility. If you think about it, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have sales conversation, right? You're going to have a conversation with people about money, right? And then if they use money as an excuse, what makes it challenging is because there's a part of you that probably says, oh yeah, if you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. What can I do? Right? So what if you truly realize that money has nothing to do with the problems or the reasons why you say no or yes to things in life? If you're using, so this would be a kind of a cool experience that, over the next month or maybe even for the rest of the year, okay, because doing this will actually help you make more money, is if you say, anytime you find yourself using money as an excuse and think about, okay, well, what if money has nothing to do with this reason? What is the real reason why I'm not saying yes or no or whatever the case may be? And what that might do is actually, well, I know it will do, is shift your decision-making process and start giving you very, very interesting, better results in both life and work.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about my friends who, I like going to different types of workshops and seminars and, just like maybe like some like meetups here and there just to learn things or going to like a film screening, and I don't mind paying the entry fee, right? But I have some friends who I'll always invite like a few friends, and a lot of the time, people will, like my friends will say, oh, I'm trying to save money, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, but yet they would still go out to the bars like on the weekends.
Right. And so that's their way of saying, I don't want to go, but I'm going to use money as an excuse to not go.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And there are times where, it's funny because there are times where I've been invited to things and I'm just like, oh, I just want to save my money. And really, I just want to be home reading a book on Friday night instead of going out.
And that's why it's such an easy scapegoat.
Yeah, it is.
And so the reason why this becomes a problem, and what this case study is showing, is that associating money with our reasons, with our excuses, with our problems, with our negative emotions, with our outbursts, or whatever the case may be, is a bad association.
Yeah. So, earlier we're talking about the if and then, right? So the reason of if I do this, then fill in the blank.
Right.
And so, well, do you want to elaborate on that first before I ask this question?
Oh, yeah. So you were asking me about, how What do you mean by association? What do you mean by associating the wrong thing together?
And then detaching yourself
like
from...
if this is red, then it's an apple, right? That type of thing, okay?
Yeah.
And we all know at some point it's going to be proven wrong.
Wait, so do you think that motivation of like, well, if I do this, then blank is never a good motivation to do things? Or
well, it's not really a good tool to use for motivation. If-then statements are a way to develop strategies and sequences. But if we use it as a way to motivate or as an excuse to not do something, if this doesn't happen, then I'm not going to get this. Okay, then that's what we call a bad association. If it's not getting you what you want. So if you're using an if-then statement to make your decisions or to not make your decisions, and that if-then statement has been used before, it has not gotten you the results. Okay, so for example, if I make $1,000, then my life will be good. Or if I make $1 million, then my life would be perfect. That's a bad association. Because we all know about this. We all know about people who make millions and are not happy. I've personally seen it firsthand, and they're not happy.
Yeah.
So that if-then statement is a fallacy, and yet people still continue to use that. Yeah. If I just do this, if I just get this raise, if I just get this job, okay, then everything will be great. And maybe you find a way to make it good for a little bit, but what you're really doing is you're missing the point of why you have that problem to begin with and why you have that challenge to begin with.
Distracting.
It's distracting. So the question is, well, when do I use if-then statements? If-then statements are great for strategies and systems. Really, that's what it comes down to. I mean, if you go, back when I was studying computer science and engineering, if-then statements were critical. If this happens, then we go to here. If this happens, go to there, right? Same thing happens with a lot of these, workflow type of environments. If the client says this, then this is how we serve them. If the client says this, then this is how we serve them at this level. And this is how you truly understand. So if-then statements are great for systems and strategies and techniques and tactics.
Yeah.
But to use it as reasons and excuses for not having what we want to have in life, to have the lifestyle that we want, that's all called a bad association.
So using if and then for direction rather than reason.
Right.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay, so then, so if you are recognizing that you are using if and then statements for reasons, then
you have to recognize that what you're doing is you're attempting to do a bad association. Like a lot of these comics out there saying, I like to use this all the time because people get it. I'm funny as a comedian because I'm depressed. That doesn't make any sense if we truly think about it. But a lot of comedians say that because I've had such a hard life and because I've been so depressed in my life. That's why I'm funny, because I have a lot of stuff to draw from. But you're funny because you have an ability to shed light on things that are typically dark. Okay, but then doesn't mean it has to be dark for you to be able to make things funny. You can make something funny out of pretty much anything. If you talk to comedians and stuff like that, they're funny even in conversation, and nothing dramatic is going on, nothing depressing is going on. They just have an interesting, unique perspective on things. But it's not because now life experiences may include depression or negative experience and negative emotion or trauma, but that's not the totality of it. So when people are doing that, that's a bad association. And what that does, it also feeds into a negative association, if there is one. So
what would be the first step to, stepping aside from the bad association, just recognizing it, and then what would you say is the next step? First thing is awareness, and then the next thing. So this is a word sequence moniker. I don't know if we talked about this yet, but I'm working on. There are 3 words. Awareness, acknowledgement, and embrace. Having the awareness is first, kind of like listening to the ooh, aha, right? And then acknowledge it, why you're actually doing it to begin with, right? There is a reason. People say, well, it's not serving me at all. There's no reason for me to have this behavior or this thinking process. But you do have it, which means on some level, deep level, it's helping you somehow. There's a perspective that it's keeping you alive. There's a perspective that it's keeping you safe. There's a perspective that's keeping you keeping life simpler. But this perspective isn't necessarily true. It's just something that's helping you continue the habits that you're living in.
It's helping you survive.
Yeah.
That's why the fight or flight kicks in when you have that negative emotional trigger. It's like, and then you start, going, Why? What's so funny about that? This is a very serious moment. Why are you laughing?
Just the sound effects just illustrate my mind.
You like my onomatopoeia? It's like,
Oh, man. So it's aware, acknowledge, and embrace.
Yeah. And so what happens is when you acknowledge the fact that it does serve a purpose and you truly acknowledge it, okay? It's like that little kid is finally being heard. Mm-hmm. And that's when you want to embrace.
So how would you recommend going on about embracing?
Embracing could be as simple as writing a letter to oneself and saying thank you, right? Mm-hmm. It really is. Embracing is just, it's loving on yourself. Just really acknowledging and really just saying, oh, I get it now. Oh my God, this whole time I've been doing this to protect myself. I'm just be in awe, be just like overwhelming love for self. Mm-hmm. Kind of like what happens if you look at a kid, right, that finally feels like he or she is getting heard by his parents. It's like nothing else. I mean, think about yourself as a child when you finally felt like, if you and some kids feel like they've never been heard all their life. But let's say you grew up and at one point you realized your parents finally got you, or they finally heard what you were saying, and they acknowledged you. How did that feel? It felt great. It felt empowering. It felt loved, and you felt more open to accept change or to hear change or whatever the case may be. Well, the thing is, our unconscious mind, which is responsible for all those negative emotions and stuff like that, it operates like a really, really super intelligent 5 or 6 year old. And never really, the biggest generation gap in our mind is actually in our world is not between ourselves and our children. It's actually between our grown-up conscious mind and our inner child unconscious mind.
Oh man,
that is the biggest generation gap. We're also caught up in trying to bridge that gap between our kids and ourselves and stuff like that. Yeah. But the reality is that gap is much larger inside our minds.
Whoa.
All the stuff we learned as kids, our unconscious mind just became... Have you ever talked to a really, really intelligent 5 or 6 year old kid?
Yeah.
You could have a full conversation.
Yeah.
And it blows your mind, right?
Yeah. It also blows our mind how honest they are.
Right. That's our unconscious mind.
Yeah.
After about 5 or 6, we stop growing up. The unconscious mind has no awareness of space or time. So, aging kind of stops. The conscious mind is the one that keeps track of that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's like scary, intelligent 5, 6 year old.
Yeah, exactly. So if you think about it, right? Kids really don't know what's right or wrong. They just kind of know what's painful, what's not painful, what's simple, what's complicated, right? Am I safe? Or am I in danger, right? So those, and that contributes to the three gatekeepers in our mind, right? What is it? Am I safe, or I'm in danger? Is it complicated, or is it simple? What's the third one? Is it complicated, or is it simple? Is it? Oh no!
Is it credible?
No. It's simpler than that. Anyway, so, but at least those are two gatekeepers right there. Is it simple? Is it difficult? Oh my God, this is going to bug me now. Is it? Holy cow.
I know, I visually know where I wrote it down, but I can't recall it either.
I know, because we talked about this before.
I think we're thinking too hard.
We're thinking too hard.
My friend always told me, he said, he's like, when you're just thinking so hard, but it just slips further and further away.
Yeah.
He says, okay, well, think that you're going to come back to it, and just remember that it'll come back when it's supposed to. And it's always within 30 minutes, it just comes back.
Well, we'll just put that away. Have 30 minutes.
Oh, no, we don't. Oh, goodness. Well, I guess.
You know what's funny about that, too? Money's the same way.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
The more you worry, think about, and stress, or just kind of like focus just on money.
Like it pushes it away?
Yeah, it's kind of like, say, have you ever sat there and watched water boil and you really wanted hot water right now?
It takes even longer.
Oh my God, it takes forever, right? It gets all quantum on you and you're just like, what the heck's going on here?
Wait, so then the other way around is that what you like? You're not just gonna sit back and relax.
No, you
and not
have
do
you have
anything.
stuff to do anyway. You set the intention. I want to make $1 million. Great. Okay, cool. What is it that I need to do? Set up a game plan. Great. Next step. You do step by step, but you don't keep looking at $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million. You don't do that. You know, that doesn't get you there faster, you know? And then sitting there doing, I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, affirmations are great if you don't have any baggage in the way, but sit there just doing affirmations all day and just say, you know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. God, that statement is like...
The universe will provide.
The universe will provide as you're sitting there, starving yourself, not doing anything, thinking that you can own yourself to like prosperity and abundance, you know? You know, I don't have any problems with oming. Oming is great. Oming is one of the most cleansing, clearing, most lifting, energetic lifting type of activities. And if that's all you do without taking any action, thinking you're gonna that's going to get you where you want to go, then you might as well just go be, you know, one of those monks that sits in a cave. And there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, seriously, right?
Oh man. Anyways, but I don't want to be a monk in a cave. I want to be able to make over $200,000 and not save myself away.
Right. So the best way to do this. So the question is, and well, how then do we not get caught in this trap? Is you realize and recognize the fact that the more you resolve, the more negative emotions that you resolve, the more blocks and challenges and limiting belief that you handle in the beginning of your money journey. Right, to get you to where you want to go. And it doesn't matter. Not everybody has to make $1 million. Maybe $250,000 is good enough for you and your family and what it is that you want to do. You know, maybe for some others, I mean, you got to make at least 6 figures. I mean, you got to at least shoot for that. Nowadays. I mean, anything less than that, then, you know, yeah, sure, you can move and live in different parts of the world and stuff like that. But, I mean, let's think about what, like even people, if you come to listen to this show, Stop Money Anxiety Now, you've got the technology, you got doing it. You're in a world where it's not third world. I mean, now, granted, if you're third world and listen to this, awesome. Okay. Why not be a 6-figure earner in your third world country? Because we work in a world economy. You obviously have enough technology to be able to access this content.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
That means you have the possibilities of creating whatever prosperity and abundance that you want to make whatever impact that you want, whatever legacy you want to create and provide in this planet. You know?
It's interesting because I'm just thinking, you know, like what if it's a person who's listening and they're just like, oh no, but this, but that, but this. It's like, okay, well, there's those.
Yeah, buts.
Yep. But. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so you agree and you cut yourself off. You agree and cut yourself. So what happens is like that's kind of a yes or no thing. Yeah, you agree, but you disagree. Yeah, you agree, but you disagree. So what happens? That's like kind of like a seesaw. Now I don't know the last time I guess if you were on one of those railroad tracks and you do the seesaw thing, but if an actual seesaw in the playground, does it move and go anywhere? No.
Oh, teeter-totter?
Teeter-totter.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not true. Or that is true. I was thinking on Mario Kart, you know, when you're on the little... I forgot what game it is. Anyways, yeah, I'm just thinking, you know, for me, luckily I grew up with, you know, a mom who was always really encouraging and, you know, always telling me that, you know, I can accomplish this, I can do that, like anything that I want, you know, and you work hard for it. And, you know, with a little bit of luck, you'll be successful. And I'm just thinking, you know, a lot of people might just be...
Do you know how to create more luck?
Showing up.
Well, the cool thing about luck is that it's always there. You have luck at your doorstep every day, along with prosperity. Every day.
So how do you create more luck?
You have to see it.
How do you see it?
Take the blinders off.
How do you take the blinders off?
Stop and eliminate your limiting beliefs.
Oh. So that's what's been happening to me this
past week. Look at that. Imagine that.
Oh, man, I just had a light bulb. Well, I can tell you guys firsthand, it's amazing and it's really exhilarating. I was just talking to my mom last night. I was just saying, I'm so happy to wake up every morning. Like, I mean, before, obviously, I was really happy. I'm so grateful, so blessed. But just lately, it's like I'm really excited to just dive in deep what the things I've lined up.
You're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you created more prosperity, more abundance in your life, and you're actually experiencing it firsthand.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Yeah.
I just got it. The 3 gatekeepers.
Oh, the third one.
Yeah.
What's the third
so
one?
the first one is obviously, you know, like, why do I need to talk to you? Or basically, are you someone that's dangerous or not? Am I in danger?
Yeah.
Right? Second one is, am I bored or am I curious? Am I intrigued or am I bored? The third one is it complicated or is it simple?
Oh.
So your unconscious mind will steer away from danger, boredom, and complexity. And one of the biggest challenges a lot of entrepreneurs face is that we grow up in a society that believes and trains us to believe that to get where you want to go, you've got to work hard. It's got to be a struggle to justify abundance, justify prosperity, justify wealth, justify the good things in life. Right? Everything has to be earned.
Yep. And we take a lot of pride for that. I was just listening to a podcast this morning that was talking about that notion of how nowadays in the Western world, it's a luxury to be able to say that you've worked this hard to have the things that you have. Instead of before, you know, it was a luxury to not do anything. You know, like, and that was like a something to be proud of. Yeah. But nowadays, you know, even with my friends, like, everyone's like, oh man, I've been working. It's like, oh man, that's awesome. That's really good. You haven't been so busy. Great. That's a good sign.
Is it?
Apparently. In this society.
Yeah. You got to think about this. It's like technology is amazing. Technology just keeps getting better. And what was the whole purpose of having technology?
To make our lives easier.
To make our lives easier. And so why is it we are like 10, 15, 100 times busier than our previous generations, our parents and our parents before that? That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Not so much for our clients, though.
So in conclusion, you do not need to make $200,000 in order to be happy.
No, you can be happy. The happier you are now, the easier it is. The byproduct is you actually make more money. If you have the right systems in place.
That's the cycle I want to be in.
Right. Right. No, the happier you are, the more money you can actually make.
Yep.
But you got to be happy now. Dalai Lama said true happiness is happiness without purpose or reason. You're just happy.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Right?
Man, he knows what he's talking about.
Kind of, I guess, yeah. One of my favorite dudes. So what you want to do is, just recognize that your unconscious mind steers away from danger, pain, boredom, and complexity. So if you want to start training or getting in touch with that inner child better, which consequently, that inner child is actually the most powerful part of your decision-making process and your emotional-making process. People always wonder, so that inner child is just kind of in the way. No, that processing part of that inner child, because it's an inner child, is so much more powerful than our conscious mind. There's another study journal that wrote about how the conscious mind is really only represents 2, maybe even less than 2% of our daily decision-making process. The unconscious mind is actually the true workhorse. Right? So how important is it for us to get back into rapport with that unconscious mind?
Man, that does not sound as easy.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than I think. I mean, it's just those 3 things. Now, what you want to do then, what you do is you recognize that you don't live in a dangerous environment, obviously. But recognize that you're not in danger. Your life is not in danger, right? Be curious about anything and everything around you, okay? And keep things simple. Don't make things overly complex.
Wow. And as you're saying this, I'm just thinking about how a lot of, not only individually, do these thoughts come up of, like being in danger or in thinking things in complexity. It's almost like our society. It's a lot of these things are embedded in society, and so we grow up.
If you don't do this, then this will happen, and if that happens, then this will happen. But that's a sequence, right? Remember if-thens, right? But those if-thens are basically helping you create something that doesn't exist. But then in such a way so that you say, well, just because that possibility exists. So I always ask, okay, if you're thinking that might happen, what else might happen?
That's a fallacy. That's a logical fallacy. It's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope.
And you'll notice a lot of politicians will be using that logic, quote unquote.
Well, I mean, it's a leverage technique because, and it's not the politicians. It's just the nature of how the world operates. It's like the fear-driven society.
Yes.
Yep. And the more fearful you are, have you ever been around someone who's very, very fearful?
Yeah.
Is it comfortable being around them?
No.
Okay. So money is the same way.
Oh, wow.
If you're very, very fearful all the time, money has no desire. If we were to think of money as a sentient being, it's energy, right? It will have absolutely no desire to be around your prosperity, abundance. Well, no. Because you're closed off. Your energy's closed off. Everything's closed off.
Oh, so that's what you mean by getting it out of your own way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, there's a lot of meanings behind getting out of your own way.
Oh, whoa.
But, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, if you want to, let's say so let's keep it simple. Let's say I want to go to the cafe next door and pick up a cup of coffee, right? And then I decided that I didn't want to put my shoes on because I just don't like my shoes.
Okay.
Now,
I don't either. Sorry, I didn't want to tell you that before, but I'm glad you brought it up.
Okay, cool. Now that you brought that up, get rid of those shoes already. God. It's like, what, you don't like these?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. And then here's the thing is that, or what if I decided I wanted to do this magic thing and see if I can escape out of shackles and a straitjacket, and that's the only way I can get my cup of coffee.
Sure, let me get the camera.
But I mean, but it's as ridiculous as that sounds.
Yeah.
Many of us are actually doing that same type of same style of living. We're living that way. I want to do this, but straitjacket 1, shackle 2, weight on my ankles 3. Let's do all these different things, and they usually show up in the form of reasons, excuses, and if-then statement that don't work for you.
Oh, that's so interesting. That's kind of like John's interview last week when it's, slaying those demons and getting your mindset all cleared away from that chatter that tells you. But then if this... Yeah buts are the speed bumps of life. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so again, I mean, if you're just joining us live, you could always post a comment on the comment section, and that'll show up live on our chat screen. If you're not listening to us live, make sure you comment anyway, so that way we can talk with you offline. We do pay attention. We do look at this stuff. If you want to find us, you can go to the sixfigureacademy.com/radio. That's the number sixfigureacademy.com/radio. We'll also be on iTunes when this is done. It's going to be automatically put out there. We are also creating a playlist on our YouTube channel where you can actually listen to this on YouTube. Yeah, working with our social media gal. And then I think I started putting it on SoundCloud too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so SoundCloud. That's primarily a music platform, but... Oh,
there's a lot of audio that's on SoundCloud.
But we play music in before and after at the front and end of this of these podcasts, so...
It's technically music.
There's music.
My voice is music to your ears.
Stop. You're going to get in the way to speak. This microphone is sensitive enough already. Don't need your head to get in the way. Just kidding. Okay. So anyway.
Wait, so one question when you were going to what you're making over $300,000, right? Back to that moment where you're just kind of coincidentally stumbled upon this incident where it made you push through this.
Yeah.
Negative.
So what had happened was money stopped helping me avoid dealing with the challenges in my life.
Okay. When did you realize that?
Well, it just got way out of control because once it stops helping. So remember, when it gets to 200,000, it gets to 0.
Okay.
And after 0, then no amount of money you make is going to make those negative emotions go away. Now, what are we talking about? Negative emotion: anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt. Okay, those I call those the 5 negative horsemen. 5, negative emotional horsemen, oh, whatever. Okay, they're bad. And so how it showed up was, it's circumstances where it would be volatile,
yeah.
And I was, seeking, I actually had to seek support and help from people who are actually great friends with me today that helped me with, the anger, helped me with the guilt, helped me with the hurt. And in fact, it showed up deeply in a relationship that I was in. And so when I turned my focus to resolve that and realize it wasn't the relationship, it was something even deeper within me. And then I turned inwards even further to resolve that old baggage that I had, old emotional baggage that stemmed from childhood, stemmed from experiences in grade school and all those different things, which fed into the belief system about certain parts of my life, like, having to atone for things, or not being good enough, or not being smart enough. Then I didn't even think about work anymore. I didn't think about money at that point. And I was just like, oh my God, I got to get this handled, because this is just messing me up. Meanwhile, it was business as usual, just doing work and stuff like that. And then when I started getting headway, getting breakthroughs in that area, and again, I didn't notice the correlation until much later in life.
Yeah.
But if I looked at the timeline, money started to, I broke through the 300,000 barrier. Okay. And it was fascinating, because later on when I did make the correlation, I was like, oh my God. And then that was, this is why we have the process that we have today here at the Six Figure Academy. It's like, wow, there is a direct correlation to that. So then I started looking at all my other clients, my past case study, my mentors, and I started and I did studies and read up on other people, prolific people in our world today. And, there's a direct correlation when one works on their negative emotions and everything. Like, they can break the barrier and shatter the statistics of this study.
Wow.
Right? So,
pretty much asking people to deal with their stuff.
Yeah. You want
to be
change,
more successful.
Right? Because everything that you have outside, everything that you can physically see as a challenge or a problem, as a circumstance in your life right now, right? Everything that you recognize that this is a real problem, this is a real circumstance, is an end result. Is an end result after a lengthy sequence and story that started and emanated from a decision you made in your mind, based on your perspective, your belief systems, your negative emotions, your fears, your desires, all those wrapped into one. It all started there. And what you end up seeing in front of you is actually an end result. The problem is most society tells us to treat the end result, which doesn't really solve the problem. It simply allows you to trim the hedges, so to speak. Right?
Oh, man.
Interesting, right? Are you like lost in thought right now?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, some people who are like, okay, man, like, I want to be successful. And then you're just like, well, then deal with all of your emotional stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, gosh.
Right?
And then it's like, do people decide, like, what are you going to decide? Do you decide to deal with it? Do you decide to dive in
deep? Or do you decide to live with all your baggage?
And distract.
Right, distract.
Yeah.
Right?
And now it's so
And then you blame
easy.
money. And then you blame money so that people... And then what makes it easy to blame everybody agrees with you.
Oh, and
it's like, oh, yeah, if you had more money, this would totally solve that problem.
And I'm just imagining, like a lot of millennials who, are going to distract themselves with Instagram or Facebook, and then they see all these wonderful things that all these people are doing who are often, in a probably financial bad situation. Like, they see this like Instagram couple that's making 6 figures off of making one Instagram post, so it's like this vicious cycle.
Right. So they think it's that easy, but they don't realize,
Exactly.
I mean, look at Pinkberry, right? People's like, oh my God, Pinkberry, they sold and they totally got successful and everything, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize that they actually look into the story. That's like their 12th business. All 11 business before that failed.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Pinkberry was not their first business.
Whoa.
It was like, their 11th failure. I mean, after 11th failure, they kept going, and they made it work.
Wow, I did not know that. That's interesting. I love Pinkberry.
Right? That's your people's, isn't it?
Yeah, the Korean, yep.
Yeah. but I mean, look, what's his name? Who invented light bulb?
Nikola Tesla?
No, not Tesla.
Like that's
the one who was credited. Okay, it could have been Tesla.
I think
Thomas Edison, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he failed like like 9,999 times
yeah.
and the 10,000 time or whatever.
Yep.
That's what it worked, right?
What is it? Like, remember Leonardo da Vinci? He's made like millions and billions of different types of renditions of all this, you know, and he's been known for a very few things.
Right. Colonel Sanders.
What?
He didn't succeed till in his 60s. He was broke up to that point.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And do you know what he did?
What?
He said, I don't know what I'm going to do. So he took this recipe that he had in the family, the Colonel Sanders' original recipe, door to door, knocked to see if anybody would, you know, buy it or do something with it to take it to the next level, right?
No way.
I think it was like 600 or 700 no's. Like he almost had to go 1,000 before somebody said yes.
Man, I thought
in
he was
his 60s.
I thought he was just some logo.
No,
So,
no, it's a real person. It's not just a real
KFC
logo. It's a story.
KFC is like internationally recognized. It's pretty big in Thailand. No, I'm serious.
If you Google
Colonel Sanders,
yeah, or no, entrepreneurs that didn't make it.
yeah, and you know it's funny because we always hear the success stories. Like, we always read these articles that this person did this.
Well, I mean,
and
Louise
accomplished
Hay,
that, and
she didn't succeed until over 60.
whoa,
Well over 60.
yeah, and I think that's what I really appreciate about this show is that we have people who are going to come in and talk about the failures, because all we read on the internet are the successes.
Right. Success teaches you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Failures teach you everything.
Let's go and fail some more.
Exactly. No, it's gotten to a point where when I launch something new, right, I'm looking for areas that it's failing because then I can learn something and make it better. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, you have to embrace the failures, you know. So that's why they always talk about MVP, right? Minimal viable product. Get it out there, because then that way you can actually get real feedback on where it needs to be, how it can be better. Right? So, you know, I mean...
So coupling fail more, distract yourself less, and just deal with your stuff.
Yeah, you got to deal with your stuff. I mean, this clinical study basically tells you that, you know, making more money is not going to solve your problems if you don't. No, so the question is then, why is it that we say making money, you have a problem that you need solved, just go make more money? Because money is not the solution, but rather money is actually a great facilitator for the solution. Doesn't mean that you can't get to the solution without money. Money just allows you to get there quicker. Money is a lubricant. Money's an ally.
Oh, so money is kind of like delivering you up to this place up until it hits the 200,000 mark.
And if you're using it as a reason to, as a solution for your negative emotion, then that's what creates this statistical study. And that's what most people do.
Interesting. So money is really our friend.
Totally. You know, and that's what we do here. I mean, we basically get people to use money to facilitate the solution to their problems. So what we do then is, if this is a problem that you're having in life, let's get a solution first before we start trying to make a bunch of money to do it. Or you could do it hand in hand, knowing that the money is actually fueling the solution and is not the solution. So people who say, you know, like people in the festival community say, I don't want to make money. Fine. You could still solve the problems in the life and in the world and everything like that. It's going to take you a heck of a long time.
Yeah.
And if you want to get it done in a lifetime, then why not use what's readily available out there?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I was reading a book yesterday by Felix Dennis. I'm finishing that book. I'm like about halfway through. And he says, you know, people don't realize people make money so hard, and actually it's the easiest thing. And I tell people all the time, money's the easy part. Dealing with trauma of, like, you know, a child passing away, or like a death in the family, that's so much harder than making money. I don't know why people start to think that money is like the hardest thing in the world when there's harder things in life that we deal with anyway, we get through anyway, right?
So would you say that mission of returning back to that really intelligent 5 or 6 year old is the key to... Oh, yeah,
to getting back into alignment, getting back into rapport, and then resolving it on that level. Getting a rapport and working together with that inner child, say, okay, great, thank you for that, embrace that. Let's see if there's a different way. And when you're back in the rapport, that inner child will go, oh, okay, is going to be open. No defenses up. I'm not in danger. Okay, I'm intrigued because there's something that can make me feel better.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's not complicated. And the simpler we make it, the easier it is to facilitate that. You know, the challenge is, okay, well, that sounds hard. It says, yeah, that's why I'll never be without a coach ever in my life again. Because, yeah, I encounter those moments of, oh, my God, I have no idea what to do about this. Thank God I have a coach. Thank God I have somebody that I can actually talk to that can shed a different perspective on things. And even if she may not necessarily have the solution on the spot for that, she can bounce back a different perspective that I would not have been able to see myself. Right? Which is why it's great that in our office here, when we have these conversations all the time, it sheds a different perspective on things, both ways. So anyway, we just hit our hour. It is now 1:00. So anyway, so very cool. This is a very cool conversation. I'm glad. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of this. If you have any questions, post it on there. Again, follow us everywhere. We're going to be on YouTube. We're on iTunes. Subscribe to the channel and everything like that. Ask any questions. Post the comments. And just remember, if you have anything that you would like to, or if you like to be on the show and you have a story that you'd love to share, reach out to us. We love to have that happen as well. So anyway, that's our show for the week. Oops. Yeah, that's our show for the week, and that's our that's my little attempt at DJing.
Live DJing.
Right, and so join us next week, same time, same bad channel, Tuesday at noon Pacific Standard for another episode of Stop Money Anxiety Now.